show being modest. Now it's grams of the wax for my conscience. Bron James in LA, you're on college. I've been jumping on them planes like a hobby. Still moving with the pack like my partners. Put the John on them jets cause you wildin'. But the bowl is a party on the island. Moment of silence. So good, get back to the topic. Grew up, it was me and Flocka. Grandma's and Big T, this my mama. I ain't even for the pain when my pops flipped. Knew his name, that's it, never bothered. Mom said, you the man, son, you got this. Ever since I found a way to go and pop shit. Hold up, blaze through a whole zip. Took a seat at the table of my first flip. Days in red roof with my first whip. Split the money with the gang, never post pics. Seen a change in the game, had to coach it. Never let them take my wangs in the mold, bitch. Ever made in a month, nigga. Used to serve him at the minute just to front, nigga. Goddamn. Had to grow up quick, I made my own rules. Had my first child, got it jumping with music. Can't really hang with nobody who losing. I thought by now that you would go and get it, but I could hardly see niggas this distant. Know you get cropped if you not in the picture. And I made that zag and went got a bag. Shots to the Henny and OG prescriptions, put rebel shit on the map. Took a leap from where I started at. Started ballin' now, I'm Chris Paul and Cats. Got them steady calling for the mold, but I'm on a roll, gotta call him back. And that's all fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you. All aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas should now be clear. All electronic devices should now be turned off and stowed, as they may interfere with the aircraft's navigational and communication systems. Once airborne, we'll let you know when you may use approved electronic devices, but note that some items may not be used at any time during the flight. You'll find a list of approved devices in the in-flight information section.
All right. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Pocket Locker podcast. We're going to see what goes on today. I'm trying to do this little class project. No guarantees. I don't even know what's going on. Right now, I don't even see myself on the damn screen. That's crazy. Welcome everybody. All right, it looks like y'all can hear me. That's good. Looks like y'all can hear me, at least for now. That's good. All right, well, shit, then let's jump ahead and jump into it. All right, so look, we got to make this little 3D donut. This is a little extra credit project for my class. I'm teaching social determinants of health. It's about race, class, and gender. And how basically being on the wrong side of race, class, or gender means your health is also likely super fucked. But on the bright side, students learn how to make various forms of multimedia so that they can do science communication in the 21st century, in the age of social media and the technology and the supercomputers in your pockets and the AI and the blase and the glavinoids. It'd be a shame if you graduated with a science degree and all you knew how to do was read and write, and you could be consuming lots of scientific misinformation, but totally incapable of making the type of content to respond to it. So anyway, my camera's on my laptop, and then my mic's on my other computer, so my audio's probably a little off, but that's okay. I don't know. Let me do a quick little check. No, actually sounds pretty good. All right, so we're gonna the one thing they don't have to do is this little 3D modeling project because it takes so long. It's like 4 hours of tutorial. But if they do it, then they can earn like 10% of their grade and extra credit. It's a big ass, big extra credit thing. And then we're gonna have a donut party at the end of the semester. So anyway, I'm gonna try to work on this donut here while we're on our spring break technically. But yeah, so I gotta go ahead and download this Blender program so we can follow along with the tutorial. And we'll do that. I got a little music going, I think. Got the music going from my laptop. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get into it. First thing we got to do is actually, it's gonna take me a little minute to get used to the little setup I got going today. But yeah, we'll switch over to this. All right, and yeah, we're gonna get started. So we'll download Blender. Hopefully it gives us the Windows installer. I don't really see anything happening. All right, there we go. We'll donate some other time since I'm going to be putting in my financial information on stream. Yeah, I want them to let me stream my classes. I was thinking about trying to look into it. We did it when I was at MSU. I just got to see if I can get permission to do it where I'm at now. All right, setup wizard to install in Blender. Sure, whatever. Yep, do the thing. Yep, install it. Yes, yep, go for it. Do all of that. All right, anyway, let's get right. All right, cheers, gang. Hope everybody's having a good day. Ooh, that's that Remy Martin. That's that cognac, nigga. All right, and let's get into the mode. Yeah, I like that relaxing jazz. Sometimes that's what I listen to when I'm working. A lot of times I don't really listen to anything, but I can't listen to something with like distracting talk or lyrics. So I tend to do a lot of jazz instrumentals or lo-fi type of vibe. Just depending on what type of mood I'm in. But yeah, this is what they're gonna have to do. You gotta start by installing Blender. And then there's two ways to go about this video. One is there's a playlist of all the videos. And then there's also this video I pulled up, which is the whole thing in one crazy long video. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Learn how to support Blender. I don't need to do that again right now. I can't knock the hustle. It's free software, so I know when you make free software, you need them damn donations, so no shade. All right, do we have Blender? Like, I don't know. Yeah, right. Is this Blender? Like, I expect there to be a little bit something to it. Where's the user interface? There we go. Yeah, this is what I remember. I think this is supposed to be our light source. Maybe that's our camera. And then we start with this object. I can zoom in and out my mouse wheel. Okay. This is Blender. It's free. Y'all, I don't know, actually. I was trying to teach them the right tools. Like Blender, like so many big budget animated films and movies are made in Blender. One day we'll do a little Blender showcase. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to get stoned, but at the same time, we'll go ahead and see what he's talking about. All right, let me mute the music real fast, and we'll see what he's talking about.
3D modeling. So this is Blender. It can do 3D modeling, texturing, lighting, shading, and rendering. And I'm going to show you how to do all of those things whilst you make your very own donut. And I know this looks complex and challenging, but I promise you it is achievable for even a complete beginner that has never opened Blender, such as yourself. And I know this because millions of beginners have already made their donut, because this is the 5th version of this tutorial. I remake it for every major Blender release, this one for Blender 5.0. And speaking of which, if you have already made a donut from a previous version, rather than make another one, I've actually just released a course designed for post-donut beginners. So if you're interested in that, you can click the link below. For everybody else, you need to download Blender. So if you haven't already, click the link below. That'll take you to blender.org, and then just hit the big download button. Now, if you're on Windows, that'll download an executable, which you should install. If you're on a Mac, it's an application you drag to your applications folder. And also, if you're at school or you're on a work computer that won't let you install anything, you can still use Blender. If you download the portable zip version of Blender, then just unzip it, you can run Blender from the folder. Pretty cool. Anyway, however you got Blender, open it and you should see this. Then just click anywhere off the splash screen to close it and you're in Blender. Hey.
Hang on, my motherfucking, I don't know, my goddamn vaporizer's acting up right now. Okay, hold on, turn back on. That's good. There's power off. There's power on. Y'all know we're fueled by cannabis around here. We gotta pause everything. Hang the motherfucker on a goddamn second. Okay.
Welcome. So this big section, this big gray area here, this is your 3D viewport. And it's where you'll spend probably 98% of your time, because it's the 3D world. Whether you're making a character, you're building an environment, it all happens right here. So the first thing you need to learn is how to move around in this space. And you can orbit by middle mouse pushing. So your scroll wheel, if you just push it in until it clicks, that's your middle mouse button. And then if you just drag that around, you can orbit. If you don't have a middle mouse button, a lot of people don't, they're on like a laptop with a trackpad or something, you guys will struggle. It's definitely easier if you have a mouse. But in a pinch, top right-hand corner, you just mouse over this little circle and then just click and drag on that.
I do have a trackpad, and but my trackpad is actually connected to this computer I'm controlling the stream from. I actually have Blender going in my work laptop, and you guys, that's being like, it's going to my capture card into the computer that I'm streaming from. That way, like, I can take this with me, and also if I actually complete it and decide to share it with my students, I can pull it up on the, you know, the laptop I use for teaching. But yeah, but anyway, so I got the middle, I'm orbiting here. That's kind of cool. I can spin around and do all sorts of cool stuff with that. And then the scroll wheel itself is zoom in and out. All right.
That'll do the same thing. Or the third alternative way to do it, edit, preferences, and then underneath input.
Wait, let's go back and hear these other ways.
Laptop with a trackpad or something. You guys will struggle. It's definitely easier if you have a mouse. But in a pinch, top right-hand corner, you just mouse over this little circle and then just click and drag on that. That'll do the same thing.
Wait, hold on. All right. Yo, word. Oh, say word. That is cool. I did not know that. Or at least I did not remember that. I'm about that life.
Or the third alternative way to do it, edit, preferences, and then underneath input, emulate 3-button mouse. And then if you hold down Alt and then left click drag, that will do the same thing.
All right, let's try that. Where did he find that fucking menu? Preferences? Oh Lord, where are the preferences? Let's just go back.
Do it. Edit, preferences, and then underneath.
Edit, preferences, input, emulate third mouse button. Then I hold Alt. Then I left. Wait, I hold Alt, Oh, I'm on the wrong machine. Hold Alt. Okay, then I rotate with the left mouse button. Okay, and then I believe he actually kept that off by default, so I'll turn it back off. Be a little good boy.
Input, emulate 3-button mouse, and then if you hold down Alt and then left click drag, that will do the same thing. I don't want that. By the way, while
He's got a
I'm
shortcut.
here, a value that you will want to change, if you're on a 4K monitor, you will probably have noticed that like Blender looks like this, where like everything is really super tiny and you have to squint to see it.
I think we're pretty
So
good
underneath
on the
interface,
visuals.
I changed my resolution scale to at least a 1.5, usually like 1.8. But for tutorials, I go even higher so you can really see everything. But it's obviously
Yeah, I kind of actually work with exactly the same logic. I tend to like things big and then even bigger when I'm doing something
but for
instructional.
tutorials, I go even higher.
So resolution scale, interface, resolution scale, we're at 1. And he says he goes really high for tutorials. How
So
high?
you can really see everything.
2.2. That's crazy work, bro. What's 1.5 talking about? See, I think things start to look weird for me. I'm gonna go 1.0 and hope that's not too bad for y'all, because I'm not doing the tutorial. I'm the tutorial-y.
But it's obviously much easier to use when you can see things clearly. Okay, so middle mouse drag. That's
yeah,
how
I'll try to keep an eye
You can see
on the
we're
chat.
focusing on our
Hold
cue
up.
at the moment, though. So how do we move to somewhere else? You do that by shift middle mouse drag, and that will pan you somewhere else. You can also over here.
Wait, hang on a sec.
the
Hold
side-
on. I'm getting lost because I want to go check the stream real fast. All right, we all right. All right, so now what he's talking about, shift in the middle mouse button is pan. Shift middle mouse. Oh yeah, pan to the left. Pan to the right. Take it back now, y'all. All right, let me stop.
there, click that little hand. That will do the same thing. But yeah, shift middle mouse drag.
All right, and then he said click the little hand. Oh yeah, and then we could just move around based on a little hand. Very useful to have the buttons. Sometimes we love us actually a button, because then no matter where you're at on the interface, you can do what you need to do. I like that. It feels very good,
Or
actually.
middle mouse drag to orbit. And what about zoom? You can probably guess. You might
Middle mouse drag to orbit. Yeah, we know about that. What about zoom? We know that's scroll in and out.
already done it by mistake, but just zooming by scrolling in and out on your wheel. Or again, you can go to the little magnifying glass there, just click on that and do that. Or alternatively, control middle mouse, and then that will also move you in as well. So I've thrown a lot of keyboard shortcuts at you already. Middle mouse for this, shift middle mouse to pan, scroll. If you don't want to have to remember all the hotkeys, because I'm going to throw a lot more at you. If you don't want to have to write them down yourself, I have done it for you. So I put together a Google Doc with all of the most common hotkeys and shortcuts that you might need to use.
Bitch, we
and
need
it's free.
that.
So just click the link below. And
Where
you
is
can,
that?
Print it out.
Yeah, we getting that right now. Y'all think it's a fucking game with these shortcuts. Let's see. Bro, where are the shortcuts? All links. I'm not gonna have to. Blender keyboard shortcut cheat sheet, my man. All right. The other thing that sucks though is this computer is in no way, shape, or form connected to my printer, and I do actually want to print this out. Okay, I know what to do. I'm gonna pull up the Blender shortcuts on my other laptop. which I'm just gonna treat like a little paper printout for right now. I probably won't, I don't know. I want to actually kind of learn them probably. But for right now, this will be fine. There's all the links. There's the keyboard shortcuts. Let's tell this computer not to time itself out too easily. Although that's not too big of a problem. But it would be nice if it didn't do that. Oh, but I forgot. This bitch needs to go back. I need to get rid of this laptop. This laptop pisses me off. It's supposed to be a high performance laptop, but something is very wrong with it. All right. The other thing we're going to do, just to be a G about it, is I'm going to take us a good old photograph of the screen right here. That's old school. This is how old school players do it. Well, because you gotta remember, like, recall in studios used to meant literally like taking detailed notes about every setting on all the devices in your shit. And then when motherfuckers got cameras into the studio, it was like, oh no, we just take pictures. And so some of us is still built like that. And then it's so useful. It's like right here, here's the cheat sheet. I can see it. I can use it. All right. Let's put the tutorial back up. Let's put the cheat sheet back up over here. Cool. I like that. All right. And we'll kind of learn these as we go.
You can stick it on your wall. A lot of people do that, and it's a big time saver. Okay, now it's really common to like get lost. Like one way is to like end up upside down like this, and then you're like, which way is up? How do I,
Yeah.
If you just over here, this gizmo thing, these colored circle things with lines, those are your axes. So if you just click on one of those, that'll reorient yourself. So the Z, that's the top axis, and then you're back, right? You know which way is up because it's that way, right? Which way that one is pointing. Another way, like if you got like really off into the weeds, like you were over here, and then you're like, how do I get back to where I was? If you've got an object selected and you just want to focus on, like just fly to it, and this is a really common hotkey, you use it all the time, it's numpad period, and that'll just fly you to that. If you don't have a numpad, like even a lot of keyboards today, they don't sell them with numpads anymore, I guess because people aren't accountants, they don't need to quickly type in numbers. But so this is Blender.
Oh, I'm still using the wrong, I keep hitting the wrong machine.
Lighting, shading, and rendering. And I'm going to show you.
And now I hit 0
and
I hit the reset. Already. What an asshole. Fuck that up.
Drag, that will do the same thing. You do that by shift middle mouse to pan. All right, print it out. This gizmo thing. These.
Yeah, I want to understand this thing a little better
circle
too.
Things with lines, those are your axes. So if you just click on one of those, that'll reorient yourself. So the Z, that's the top axis, and then you're back, right? You know which way is up because it's that.
So I can click this. Now I know I'm directly on top of the thing. Then I can do my middle scroll to rotate, and I'm like, oh yeah, I put Z up top. Now X is where it needs to be. Wait, hang on a sec. X should be. See, now y'all got me fucked up. I think I want this. Okay, got it. We're doing 3-dimensional coordinates. Okay.
That way, right? Which way that one is pointing. Another way, like if you got like really off into the weeds, like you were over here, and then you're like, how do I get back to where I was. If you've got an object selected and you just want to focus on, like just fly to it, and this is a really common hotkey, you use it all the time.
Oh yeah, I don't have
it's
the
numpad period, and that'll just fly you to
So
that.
that's the
if you
issue.
don't have a numpad, like even a lot of keyboards today, they don't sell them with numpads anymore. I guess because people aren't accountants, they don't need to quickly type in numbers.
have a
but
numpad on
I
my
love
other
them 'cause
keyboard,
it's
but not this one.
really useful for Blender.
Or the one in my
If you don't have
office has a
one,
numpad too.
you can also use the tilde key, which is that little key underneath your escape key.
Tilde
so if
key?
you hold that down and then just drag over where it says view selected and then release, that'll do the exact same thing.
Tilde key. Why don't I know where that damn thing is? What? I don't see it on this computer. Where the hell is that damn thing at? Do not know. Do not know. Where did he say to find it? Let's listen to the instructions again.
And then just drag a little key underneath your escape key.
Little key underneath your escape key. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, tilde. Yeah. Okay, and then 3. Got it. Oh, that's fucking sexy. I gotta use that in my DAW. I gotta remember to make tilde a magic button. That feels great, actually. And then you got like navigation keys and shit from in here. Oh. Okay.
So if you hold that down and then just drag over where it says view selected and then release, that'll do the exact same thing. So that is how you can quickly
isn't a
change
touchscreen.
focus to the selected object. And yeah, as I said, you do this all the time. But yeah, I'm going to be using numpad period from now on. Okay, so we're making a donut. We do not need our cube here, so let's delete it. You can just hit delete on your keyboard, or what I like to do is hit X, which is the alternative way. And it's just easier because my finger is like right there. I know it's another hotkey to remember, but you delete stuff a lot as well, and it's helpful to not have to find that key. So X and then delete. And now I want to add a new object, and I can do that by going to add at the top of the screen there, or alternatively, the hotkey, another one to throw at you, Shift A, and that'll just put it wherever your cursor is, and it's the exact same list. But this list here is, I mean, it's extensive. There's stuff in here that I have never used in my 21 years of using Blender. Speaker, never, ever used it. Don't know what it's for.
Oh no, let's have to get some
Most
sound
of
up
the time,
in
what
this
you're looking
piece.
for is underneath mesh. So these are your primitive mesh objects.
Okay.
And generally when you're making something, you pick one of these that most resembles or is closest to what it is you're making. Like if you're making a mailbox, you might start with a cube.
Are we going with the torus?
A lamp post, you might start with a cylinder.
For a donut?
We're starting, well, we're trying to make a donut, so we
There
need
we
to
go.
start with a torus, which is basically a
So
donut.
I wasn't even
Look
looking at
that.
him, just listening.
So that's cool.
All
It's
right, that's a good
wimpy
start.
looking donut though, right? It's
Fuck that, gang. Victory is mine. We made it donut. We out this bitch. Look, at least we have something that is vaguely donut shaped on the screen here.
It's very, very flimsy. We want to make it look more thicker, right? So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little box that says Add Torus, and this has additional options for us. Now, if you accidentally clicked off after you added the torus, that box is gone. You can momentarily bring it back by hitting F9, but that's only if you haven't changed something. So essentially, yeah, it's called the last used function in Blender. So that immediately after you do an action in Blender, sometimes you see in the bottom left-hand corner additional options which you can tweak and change things if you need. So if you don't see it, it just means you've done something else and it's gone. But yeah, you can bring it back momentarily by hitting F9 sometimes. But I usually just like redo it. Anyways. So first thing I want to change is the size of this thing. So it is 1 meter, which is like 3 feet for the Americans. It's a big donut. Probably shouldn't be that big. It should be about 10% of that. So 0.1, which is 10 centimeters, roughly about
All
that.
right, major radius. Oh, so that's like a physical measure, right? We're doing 3D modeling, size matters. So we'll go 0.1 m. Cool. Let's zoom in. Oh, but see now I'm not at my thing anymore. All I wanted to do was zoom in so I could see it better. All right, let's hit that F9. Should be good.
And then if I zoom in by scrolling forward, I just need to change my minor radius until
Wait,
it
how is he getting to scroll and I'm not? Maybe it's because I didn't do the add thing. I wish there was there's probably like a view way to do it or something. All right, anyway, because like he's moving around and his thing didn't disappear. I wonder if that's because of the add thing. Let's try it actually. Who cares? Let's see the add thing. I do Shift A, right? Then mesh, torus. Okay. Yeah, now I can still move around. I can get in on it. And and look at that. The radius is still set to 0.1. I guess it remembered whatever settings I had. Cool.
somewhat like a donut. So I want to just orbit up, right, and around. So I'm just
Wait, how the hell did he do that?
Roughly about that. And then if I zoom in by scrolling forward, I just need to change my minor radius until it looks somewhat like a donut. So I want to just...
Oh, he's kind of scrolling and doing that? Okay, let's see. And then we'll zoom in, and then we do our minor radius. I want to see if I can click and like drag so I can feel like yeah, that's how we want to feel. We want to feel like we got a control on that thing. What? That is doing donut shape. But why am I not? Oh, see, now I clicked off and now I lost my thing. Which is interesting because I think I can still just X to delete it and then add it again. Oh shit, that wasn't good. Let's delete that and add the torus again. Okay. Don't know why our movement's gone. But anyway, we can in fact do this and get it more donut-y. Okay, let's see what setting he ends up with.
Orbit up, right, and around. So I'm just middle mouse moving so I can see the inside. Then I'll just scroll in like so. Until, yeah, and I'm just going to change this value until it looks like a donut. Now, you can see as I move this, like it's going really quick and I can't get it on the right value. So when you're clicking and dragging on a value in Blender, if you hold down Shift, that will use smaller increments. And that's another one you use all the time because it's, sometimes you need small values and it's helpful to get smaller increments like that. So that's pretty good. I might go with that. Yeah, about a 0.057.
Not too far off.
And then the other thing you can change here is like the resolution of the donut. You can go like really PlayStation 1 graphics, maybe. I'm going to keep it at 48, but I'm going to increase the other one to about, let's go 18, like that. 16, 18, yeah, we'll go 18. And that's just a little bit more resolution, and it's just going to help us a little bit later on when we start to shape the donut. Okay, but once I've got that, I can just click off, and now those options are gone. We've committed. That's it. That is the starting point of our donut. Now, the next thing you're probably wondering is...
All right, what's really weird right now is my mouse is still not... Oh, I think maybe it's because of the taskbar or something. I do not know. All right, let's see what we can do here. yeah, I still don't have any ability to zoom in and out. It's as though I did something and now my mouse is like, oh, there we go. I must have clicked on something. Okay, now it's all making sense. All right, let's hit that F9. We can bring that back. Donut doesn't quite look exactly like his. I don't know how much of that is a perspective thing versus having actually different settings. I'm gonna go back and look here. Yeah, this got changed. This should be 0.1. 0.1057 1848. That looks much closer. Cool. All right, we got our little donut here. We can zoom into it. We're right side up at least. We can go. Oh, this is X and Y. Oh, I see now. Okay, so I can always reorient like this. That's X, Y. Cool beans. All right. So let's zoom out, see where our camera is. Our camera's like off to the side here, and then I think we got the light source on the other side. Okay.
And it's just going to help us a little bit later on when we start to shape the donut. Okay, but once I've got that, I can just click off, and now those options are gone. We've committed. That's it. That is the starting point of our donut.
Nice.
Now, the next thing you're probably wondering is,
it's looking rather
it
donut-y.
still kind of looks like PlayStation 1 graphics, Andrew. And that's because it has flat shading. So basically there's two states for a mesh. There's smooth shading or there is flat shading, and it defaults to flat. If you want to change it to smooth, you just right click the object and then go shade smooth. Like that. Woo! And there we go. It's fixed. So basically shade smooth without getting too technical. Anytime there is like two faces, it just kind of smooths out that point like fakery. So it's not actually adding any additional computation times, which is important, but it's appearing to the eye to be smooth. Okay, so in previous donut versions, we would start making the icing, and although that's fun to make like dribbling icing, it can be a little complicated. A lot of users ran into their first roadblocks at that time. So instead, we're going to do something a little bit easier to start with and more practical, and that's to make a coffee mug. So we need to add in a new object, which if you can remember from before, it's the add menu at the top there, or the hotkey, as I like to use, Shift A. And then underneath mesh, you're looking for something that most resembles the object you're trying to create.
Cylinder.
No prizes for guessing. The cylinder. Okay, so it comes in very, very big. It's completely engulfing our donut.
It is.
So again, in the bottom left-hand corner, click that little add cylinder, and then I'm going to change the radius first of all, just to bring this back. You can like do this after the fact, like resize something, but it just helps to, at this point, see it all together. I think I'm going to make it around holding down Shift and just kind of drag it back and forth. Yeah, about 0.13 or exactly 0.13. And then the depth, this is just the height of it. And again, you can change this later on, but just want to see it roughly the right size. The big one that's important is the vertices. And we're actually going to make this look more low res. Now, why would we make it look more low res? Because now it's obviously very jagged. The reason for this is that very soon we're going to be adding in something called a subsurf modifier, which adds over the top of our existing mesh. It adds more geometry, like it doubles the geometry and it kind of smooths it out. So actually, if you start too high like this, then you're adding like doubling that geometry and doubling it again, and then you can quickly end up with something that's too computationally heavy. So when you're working and you're going to be doing something subdiv, sometimes it helps to start like chunkier, low res. Anyway, just trust me and set it to 14. Like that. Okay, great. So we've got another object and they are completely overlapping. So how do we separate things? Some of you might already know this. You can guess, right? Left-hand side there's a tool that looks like it would be able to move something. It's the move tool. So this is one way to move things. You activate that and you get this little gizmo, and look, I can move it and I can separate them. So this is moving things along the axes. You can also just drag on that, click and drag on that little white circle there, and then that's like freehand drag around. I will say most Blender users don't actually use and move things this way because it's a lot of effort every time you want to move something to like go to the sidebar, activate the tool, you know, click it, move it. It's like most people don't do that. Instead, they remember the hotkey, and the hotkey to move in Blender, and you'll be using this a lot. So again, this is on my keyboard shortcut. It's all in there, but the hotkey is G for grab. Now,
nice.
You will notice very quickly that when you tap G, the moment you tap it,
your mouse
you are
takes over.
already in the move state.
Yeah.
So it's now attached to my cursor, even though I didn't click. Okay. So, and here's the other thing. My cursor could be on the other side of the screen. It doesn't have to be anywhere near the object. And then the moment you tap G, it's now anchored to that cursor. And even more, I think it's cool. When you go to the other side of the screen, it actually, your cursor appears on the other side. So it's just like an infinitely repeating thing there. But at first, this is like hard to wrap your head around because Blender does this for a lot of things, like not just moving something, but also rotating something. The moment I tap R, which is how to rotate something, or S, okay, I thought I might as well just teach you all three at the same time. So G to move something, G for grab, R to rotate, or S to scale something. But you'll see in each of those states, the moment you hit the key, no matter where your cursor is, it's in that state. And that's actually a good thing because, as I said, the number of times you need to move things and rotate and scale things in 3D, if you had to every single time change the tool, then move your cursor over to it, click it, activate it, that's a lot of extra steps. So it's actually really cool to have this like just one tap key and it's already activated. Anyways, okay, so, but whilst I'm in the move state by tapping G, I can also lock it to a specific axis, just like with those arrows that you saw before. So just when it's in that move state, you tap the axes you want to move it on. So that's the X axis, the Y brings it back and forwards, and the Z is up and down, okay? And that's correct. Blender is Z up, Y backwards and forwards. Different 3D applications have different things. There's no like standard, but yeah, that's how Blender's is. And by the way, if you forget which letter is which axis, you can actually see them up there in that little circle there. So again, X, Y, and Z. Anyways, I want to move this actually just a little bit further back right there. So I want my donut to be the front and center, and I want this to be at the back there. But then how do I change my view so I'm no longer just pivoting on my donut? I want to shift my focus.
All right, well, hang on a sec. Let's figure this out real quick. So that should be, let's just move the donut for a sec. Then let's orient ourselves. We would want top. There's our donut. Then we can orbit and spin around so that let me spin around so X and Y make sense to me, which would be this way. Yeah, X left to right, Y, I guess front and back, Z up and down. All right. Then let me kind of get centered here. Not that it really matters, but then, yeah, okay. So now I have perspective to say grab, and let's just put you over here somewhere. Sure, okay.
To that selected object, it's number pad period. Or, again, holding down that tilde key under your escape button and then hitting view selected is the same thing. Okay, so let's make this look like a coffee mug. So we have to edit this object. And to edit an object, we have to change what mode we are in. So in the top left-hand corner of the screen, there's a little drop down, which if you click, we can change it into edit mode. Okay, so when you're in edit mode, you can see the state has changed. The object that was selected now has a bunch of points and lines on it. And you'll also notice whilst you're in edit mode, you can't actually select any object. And it's worth pointing out this because this is a really common thing. A lot of beginners, they say, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't select anything in Blender. And usually it's just they're in the wrong state. They're in edit mode, they forgot, and then they tried to like come over here and then click something and they're like, why is it not selecting? Okay, so you have to be in object mode if you want to select an object. And if you want to edit something, you have to be in edit mode. But going to this drop down and doing this time and again would, again, be annoying. So Blender, of course, has a hotkey for it, and that is Tab. So Tab will just cycle you in and out of object and
That's
edit
like
mode.
doing
Just
our
those two
mix
states,
and sequencer
which is great
window in the
because you need to use
WLW.
this all the time. So you usually come in, do some editing, go back into object mode, select something else, edit that one, go back to this. So that's, yeah, good one to remember,
Nice.
Tab. All right, so in edit mode, when I'm in this state here, these little points here, these are called vertices. These are the points that make up the, the shape of the mesh, obviously. And then you've got edges. And you can actually select by changing the selection type from vertices, which is the default,
Appreciate
to
that
edges,
sentiment, Jake.
clicking that little button, and then I can click on the edges or select faces. Okay, like this. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything. So if you want to just know the hotkey, it's 1 to do vertice select, 2 to do edge select,
at this
and then 3
point,
to do face select. Again,
at
make sure you...
this point in my life, I'm almost exclusively chosen family. I was just thinking I might go see my dad. If I can tomorrow, we'll see how I feel about the drive and the road and all that. And I got to come back, but I might. It'd just be a lot of traveling. But yeah, other than that, my dad and my cousin, it's pretty much the chosen fam. Like sometimes that bio fam is just a sticky situation.
You get my keyboard shortcut guide because it's a lot to remember. So I want to select the top of this cup here. It's got a lid on it that I don't want.
Trying to do this to like 8.
In face select mode, selecting that face, I'm going to hit X. Now it's going to ask me, what part do you want to delete?
All right, hang on a sec. I fucked that up. Let's see what we do.
In face select cup here, it's face select. It's 1 to do.
All right, I got to figure out how to do this face select thing.
And then you've got usually come in, do some editing.
All right,
go
so
back
I got
into object
the
mode, select
switch
something
down
else,
with tab.
edit
That's
that
cool.
one, go back to this.
Love that.
So that's good one to remember. Tab. All right, so in edit mode, when I'm in this state here, these little points here, these are called vertices. These are the points that make up the the shape of the mesh, obviously. And then you've got edges, and you can actually select by changing the selection type from vertices, which is the default, to edges, clicking that little button, and then I can click on the edges or select faces. Okay, like that.
All right, so let me see. For some reason, I've got the object, I'm in edit mode, but for some reason now, I'm not seeing how to select. Oh, there we go. That looks like I selected an edge. Oh, okay, there we go. And then faces. Yes, sir. Okay, we like that. All right. Cool.
Yes. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything. So if you want to just know the hotkey, it's 1 to do vertice select, 2, so I, and then just like it's already active. Again, this is the
oh, god damn it, y'all. I hit the wrong keyboard.
The moment you activate again, so, and then I can it does,
we gotta go
but
back. I don't know.
Called an smooth. But the moment you have, I can tell then.
I don't. How far ahead did I jump? I hit the wrong button. Oh my goodness, did I hit the wrong button?
So it's no longer happening from adding thickness to this cup. You can actually. You'll also know mode if you want to select an editing mode points that and to edges. Clicking that little button, and then I can click on the edges or select faces. I'm going to just face select. Again, make sure you get my key select. 2 to do edge select, and then 3
All
to
right,
do
now I got
face
to do the
select.
right keyboard.
Again, make sure
All right,
you
there's
get my keyboard
one,
shortcut
2,
guide
3.
because it's a lot to remember. So I want to select the top of this cup here. It's got a lid on it that I don't want. So in face select mode, selecting that face, I'm going to hit X. Now it's going to ask me, what part do you want to delete? Which might sound redundant, but there is quite a lot of times in Blender you want to delete, even though you've selected a bunch of faces, you want to delete the entire vertices of those faces. So we have to confirm we want to delete just the faces from this list. And there we go. So we've now got a cup with a hole in it. Great.
Okay.
But this cup will not do. It is too paper thin. We could cut our finger on that edge
Yes,
there.
we could.
So we need to add some thickness to this cup. And while we could do this in edit mode, like you could select everything and extrude it in and whatnot, we don't need to because there is actually a function we can do to add thickness to anything without needing to go into edit mode. And that is underneath your modifier stack here. So if you click this little wrench, this will activate modifiers. Let's just drag this out. And if you click add modifier at the top there, you can see you've got a number of different options. And the one that we're looking for is solidify. So this is underneath the generate. And just in case this changes for a future version of Blender, you can also go to search at the top there, and you could just type in solidify from the list. Okay, so now that we've got that, you can see we've got a bunch of options, and you'll notice that our mesh now has some thickness to it. And I can change this thickness here. Now, watch what happens as I enter into edit mode. You will notice, as I select these faces here, I can't select this inside part of the cup there. And that's an important point because modifiers are not actually adjusting the real mesh. So the real mesh still exists here. If I disable this from the viewport by clicking this little monitor button there, you'll see that my mesh has not changed.
Edit mode, real time, this monitor thing. Oh, okay, I see. So this is the mesh underneath, but we've got the let's zoom out a little bit. We've got the modifier on, so boom, then we see that. But he's saying the real mesh under there is still that thing. Okay.
This is just applying this effect after the fact. So it's basically in object mode. It's taking whatever mesh that you give it, which is this, and then it's adding thickness to every face, essentially. So the reason this is so useful is that this is a non-destructive workflow. So I could at any point,
if we change
a bunch of changes to.
I think he's saying if we change the actual mesh, then that would be like committed. And if we wanted to then make changes to the mesh again, like if we want to undo those things, we'd have to like reform the object or like undo all the actual changes. So that's like a general principle of I guess I'd call it multimedia production, which is whether or not you're doing what we call destructive editing or non-destructive editing. And so he's saying that if we go with the modifiers, it keeps our mesh underneath the same, and then effectively that it's much easier to change or undo our work if we work with the modifiers instead of deforming the mesh itself.
My mug here, I could, we'll get to all that later on. We could change the size and things. And then later on I can go, you know what? I think that's a little bit too thick. I'm going to change that. And I can come back to that and very quickly adjust it. So non-destructive, and it's obviously very helpful for a lot of things. Okay, so I've given it some thickness, but I also want to round.
All right, let's go see.
Destructive, and it's some thickly very helpful and very quick.
I like sometimes, I don't know, I guess because I'm in such a template mindset, I kind of like to at least follow along with the parameters, usually as best I can. And see what's going on. Oh, that should have been 0, 2, 1. I put 2, 1, and it was like, yeah, that doesn't look good. All right, there we go. An offset, -1, that's fine. I thought he did something else, but I'm kind of good with this for now. All right, got it.
Adjust it. So non-destructive, and it's obviously very helpful for a lot of things. Okay, so I've given it some thickness, but I also want to round this corner here. That's way too jagged. Just like before I said, we're going to add in an extra layer on top, which adds more geometry, and that is called your add modifier, generate subdivision surface.
Add modifier, generate subdivision surface.
So yeah, all the way down there. You use it all the time, but it's like buried in there. Okay, so subdivision surface. So this appears to have like screwed up the mesh. It's like, whoa, what actually happened there? Let's just increase the levels viewport. So this is just increasing the number of times that it doubles the geometry. So you can see this is what we start with, right? This is the start. This is one level. Then this is 2 levels. And then this is 3 levels. And every time you do it, it's doubling the geometry. But you can see it's giving us the effect we want. It's smoothing out that edge there. But because of the way that it works, like basically, if you look at, let's go back to this. We've got this hard corner here, right? That's just like a 90-degree corner. So let me get in a little bit closer here so you can kind of see it. Yeah, it's like a 90-degree, perfectly like that. So when you add in a subdivision surface, it's basically saying, okay, so there's a point here, there is a point all the way over here, and there is a point that's going to go all the, like it's so far it's off the screen, but it's all the way down there. So what I need to do is I need to average out those points. So take the middle point of those 3. So essentially from here to somewhere around here, and I'm going to add in a point like here. Right? And then if you do another level, like level 2, it then places a point here, and then another point here. And then if you do another level, it places another point here, another point here, another point here. And because there's 2 sides to this mug, there's like another one happening on that side, right? So we've now just got this like really super like oval shaped edge like this, okay? Which is why when I turn it on, we get this effect there. So what we first of all need to do in edit mode with our mug here. So I am in, actually it doesn't matter what mode I'm actually in here. But what I need to do is essentially tighten an edge where that smoothing is happening. So it's no longer happening from all the way here to smooth it all the way down to there. I want to happen at like just to about there. So I need to add in more geometry onto this mesh here. So to do that, we need to add a loop cut. That is how you add in another level of another edge. So Control R will add in this loop cut. I believe you can also find it from the mesh, like somewhere in here. Yeah, there you go. Edge, loop cut and slide if you wanted to look it in there. But it's, yeah, Control R. That's another one you use all the time. So when I hit Control R, it's saying, where do you want to place the cut in this mesh? And I could place it, you know, anywhere between a face, essentially. So I'm going to place it along this middle. So you do a single click, and then it's saying, where do you want to place that vertically on this this row of faces?
This on part,
where do you want to place the? So when Control R. That's another one you use. Or loop cut and slide if you wanted to look in here. Yeah, Control R. That's another one you use all the time. And somewhere in.
All right, let's see. Let's escape that for now. Let's move around, zoom back out a little bit. Yeah, it looks like he's kind of over here. It looks like he's got a similar select to me. Then Control R. There. Now I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Edge, loop cut and slide if you wanted to look it in there. But it's, yeah, Control R. That's another one you use all the time. So when I hit Control R, it's saying, where do you want to place the cut in this mesh? And I could place it, you know, anywhere between a face, essentially. So I'm going to place it along this middle. So you do a single click, and then it's saying, where do you want to place that vertically on this this row of faces, essentially? So you can see as I bring it towards the top there, it's tightening that edge there. Okay, and that's exactly what I want. I want that edge to be much tighter than it was before. So that edge is now looking good, but now what about this one at the bottom there? This one's looking even worse. We've got a lot to fix here. But first, I need to do another loop cut. So Control R, and then again, single click to confirm I want it on that row of faces. And then I'm just sliding it along until it's, you know, roughly about there at the bottom of my mug. Okay. And then you can see it's like this whole, okay, it's, you know, roughly about there at the bottom of my mug. Okay. And then you can see it's like this whole area here, this face here, it's become like it's turned it into a star. And not to get too complicated, but basically a subsurf modifier, it has to know what to do. And generally if there's like faces that are made up of 4 vertices, this is getting complicated, I can tell. It knows what to do. It makes it like nice and smooth. But the moment you have a face that is made up of more than 4 vertices, it's called an n-gon. And it doesn't really know what to do with it. I mean, it does, but you don't know what it's going to do.
Right.
And it just can make things look a little ugly. N-gon is kind of like a dirty word in 3D space. It's like, you never want to have an n-gon. They are actually useful and they, you know, do have a purpose, but generally speaking, they're good to avoid.
It's almost like you can see the frame of the object.
So anyway, I should tell you what I'm doing. The way to fix this is I need to add another loop that kind of just goes around here, right there. So that way I've only got from there to there, and then I can have my ugly star or whatever happening underneath my coffee mug. So I need to add a loop cut, but I can't add a loop cut on just a single face. Instead, what I need to do is, it's called inset, to take a single face and then just like add in a loop around that face. And you do that by hitting I. So I, and then just like it's already active. Again, this is the way, this is why I spent a while to explain it. The moment you activate a tool, you're already in that selection state. So I hit I, and wherever my cursor is, it's now going like, where do you want to put this inset? Okay. So I'm just moving it back and forth until I get it. You know, how tight do I want this edge to look? Something like that, maybe. I mean, it's underneath the coffee mug. It doesn't really matter
undo
that much.
I don't see. I'm here. You said I, right? I'm supposed to see an inset? Definitely not seeing it. All right. Let's go back. You said it's I. All right.
It does, but you don't know what it's going to do. And it just can make things look a little ugly. N-gon is kind of like a dirty word in 3D space. It's like, you never want to have an n-gon. They are actually useful and they, you know, do have a purpose, but generally speaking, they're good to avoid if you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, I should tell you what I'm doing. The way to fix this is I need to add another loop that kind of just goes around here, right there. So that way I've only got from there to there, and then I can have my ugly star or whatever happening underneath my coffee mug. So I need to add a loop cut, but I can't add a loop cut on just a single face. Instead, what I need to do is, it's called inset, to take a single face and then just like add in a loop around that face.
You know what? I don't have the face selection on. That's the problem. Okay, so I gotta have face selection on. Now I have the face selected.
And you do that by hitting I.
Now I hit I, and I've got the inset.
And then just like it's already active. Again, this is the way. This is why I spent a while to explain it. The moment you activate a tool, you're already in that selection state. So I hit I, and wherever my cursor is, it's now going like, where do you want to put this inset? Okay. So I'm just moving it back and forth until I get it. You know, how tight do I want this edge to look? Something like that, maybe. I mean, it's underneath the coffee mug. It doesn't really matter that much, but yeah. I mean, it's underneath the coffee mug. It doesn't really, something like, I get it.
Okay. I'll call it there.
You know, how tight do I want this edge to look? Something like that, maybe. I mean, it's underneath the coffee mug. It doesn't really matter that much, but yeah, something like that. And there we go. So you can see this looks a lot nicer. And again, because we are in a non-destructive workflow, I've still got my solidify modifier at the top here, right? I could change the thickness of this. I can make this a really chunky looking coffee mug or a really thin one. And that is the benefit of a non-destructive workflow. And then I can also change how high res do I want my coffee mug to look. And this is the way to work in 3D. This is the best way to do it because, you know, if a client wants you to change something or whatnot, keeping in a flexible workflow is definitely a good place to be. Okay, so we have created the start of a coffee mug and we have also created a donut. Good time to save. Good time to save.
Good time to
files,
save.
Save as or Shift Control S and then save as.
All right, we're gonna call this Bundy EC Donut 1.
So the way I like to save things, and you might want to copy this, is to you come up with a name, you know, underscore whatever, and then you put a number after it, and then you can actually see I've already saved my file. I don't want to override my.
All right, let's see. Where am I going to save things? I'm going to save things. I want things to be. I thought I created like a projects folder. Yeah, there we go. Let's do projects. New folder. Let's just call it Blender. Let's go in Blender. Let's create another new folder called Blender Projects, and we will save it there. Okay.
My existing save in case I need to go back to it for whatever reason. So I just want to add a number to it. And in other softwares, you know, you have to come here and you have to type in the number, right? Not Blender. Blender has a hotkey for everything. If you hit plus or minus on your numpad or on the little field here, oh, you can't even see it. I'm right over the top of it. Right.
All right, so let's try this because what we would do now is we would save that as whatever, and then a lot of times we would just save right away anyway because then that would create the next iteration. So we'll go to save as, and we'll try to hit this plus sign, plus here, plus here. No. I mean, I could just increment another thing.
Yeah. This little field, these little plus and minus, it'll automatically add a number to the end of your file.
Cool.
So that's, yeah, really useful. So I'm just going to add a 2 there, and I'm going to hit save.
Okay, cool.
It is time to make our coffee mug look like a coffee mug and not like a sad little cup. So we could try to model this from our imagination because, like, hey, we all pick up coffee mugs. We know what they look like. Or we.
All right, let me try a little something else, which is that I kind of don't like the Z position of this. So I don't know. That should be a little bit better. I mean, eventually maybe we'll do like a whole plane thing and try to make that right. But I don't know. It's just bothering me. It's like sticking up in the air. And we'll just hit save, and then boom, that actually creates a difference between our two save files. And then what a lot of time I would do is go to save as, hit the plus, hit the 3. And then like next time I like, you know, do something, I don't have to think to hit save as. I can just hit the Control S save shortcut and it'll automatically do what I want.
I think we know what they look like. Something that you learn very quickly in 3D is that when you model something from imagination, it almost always comes out looking a little bit
janky.
funny.
It's gonna look weird. Yeah, it's gonna be so weird.
Your brain is very good at like abstracting away the information that isn't important to it. Like if you just close your eyes right now and just think of a doorknob. Like, what does a doorknob look like, right? If you had to make one in Blender, what would it be?
Yeah, see, now this is getting interesting. This is actually starting to make me think creatively because now I'm like, yeah, what I kind of want to do if I'm doing something like this, right, is like, it's almost like I want to go grab a coffee mug, boop, grab a donut, bop, and then, like use that as like a reference, because again, referencing is a good practice no matter what form of multimedia you're trying to create.
Okay, well, it's like a sphere bit. You like grip it, you turn it, and there's like a cylinder thing at the back, and there's a cylinder that connects it, and that's kind of it. But then if you were to make that, you end up with something that looks really basic and boring and bad. And then you go actually look at a real doorknob and you forget there's all this other detail that's just not important to your brain. Like the little lip inside, the little hole that's on there that's so you can put a key in to kind of like pry it open, or a rim that kind of like cuts into it. So there's like a separate seam around it.
Yeah.
There's the privacy lock on the front. All these things that just don't matter to you when you're turning a handle. And so you forgot that they even existed because you never even saw it, really. So the same thing applies to even something as common as a coffee mug. So it helps, when possible, to use reference images.
There you go.
Now, you can get reference images from anywhere because we have the power of the internet. And you can type in handmade coffee mug and you can pick any mug you want to create. There's a lot. And, if you want to pick one of these, if you want to just go on Google Images, you can pick one of these and go for it. I'm going to give you an image that I've used, but there's some really pretty ones here. And I was actually shocked just whilst like clicking on some of these sites before. I was like, oh yeah, like that's a cute little handmade mug. And then you go like, oh my gosh.
$123. Wow.
And 25 cents. And that's a discount from 145. And then you think like, oh, it must be like a one of one, like, a unique thing. Like, no, there's like 9 reviews. Like people are buying it. I'm like, I don't know. I got to make more money.
It's one of their popular.
People are buying.
Not charging people enough for my goddamn services.
I think it's also like we forget what
little
labor
fat,
costs.
flat, wide
like you think
handle.
Like a coffee mug is like $2,
little
right?
wide
or $1,
body
or
handle
free.
right
like,
there.
It's just there's so many of them, it doesn't even matter. But like no, like to hand make something, like obviously any of these mugs, they take more than a few hours to make if you're making it by hand. So like yeah, $33 is probably like break even for them. Probably not even making any money, but it's just like. Yeah, anyways, whole side topic of like the economy of handmade ceramic mugs, but people are buying them for $123. All right, so all that is to say is I want you to get an image, and the one I'm going to use, the link for this is below, and it's on my website. I've got all the links to everything we're going to be using in this tutorial. But there's 2 ways to add images. So one way is to go to the add menu and then just go image.
All right, let's see. So, yeah, I guess we could try to go grab the. Why did I open that? We could try to go grab the. Image. Go to YouTube, do Blender tutorial. That's the one. There's the links. Cup reference image. Save image as pictures. Actually, no, let's not save it there. Let's save it to projects. Blender projects. It should be in a folder for the project, but that's okay. We'll save it here for now. Should have remembered to make a project folder. It's my bad. All right. So then we just go to Shift A, add image reference Hopefully that's what
and then say reference. And then you just pick wherever the reference is.
All right. Boom. There it is.
And you can drop it in. The alternative way, and it's something that we didn't used to be able to do, and that's to just drag over from wherever it is on your computer and then just drop it into Blender, and it will recognize it as an image and it will bring it in as an image object. So either of those ways will work. So this is the image. This is the one we're going to use. Now, if you quickly orbit around, you'll notice that it's come in at a funny angle. Now, I don't know why Blender does this. I think it's because they think people want it locked to the perspective that they were at when they brought it in there, but I've never needed that. So we just need to clear this rotation and then rotate it to the way we want. So to clear the rotation, I'm going to hit Alt-R. The alternative way, Object, Clear, Rotation, Alt-R, same thing.
Okay.
Now it's flat. So now we need to rotate it, prop it upright so that it is flat onto, how it should be relative to the scene. So I need to rotate it. So I'm going to hit R. But we're now in freehand rotate mode. And it's relative to where we were looking at it, which is, this funny angle. So if you remember from before, when we're in a move state, like rotate, scale, or grab, we can lock something to a specific axis whilst we're in this mode by just tapping the letter of that axis. And if you don't know the letter, you can see we really want it on this red line here. And that red top right-hand corner, that is the X axis. So I'm going to hit X. There we go. So now it is locked to that axis, which is good. And now we want it to be 90 degrees. So you could either hold down Control, and you can see in the top, what that does is that's now moving it in 5-degree increments. Or you could just type in the number 90 on your keyboard and then hit enter. And there we go. So that's how we bring it in and clear the rotation and set it up. So, all right, now it's way too big. So hotkey to scale something, S, okay, S to scale. And now I'm just going to scale this down, and I can't see my mug. So my mug is behind it. So let me just move my mug. I'll move my mug forward. So let's move it forward to there.
Ah, shit. I didn't mean to do that.
All right. And then now I'm going to look at it like front on. Okay, so I can do that by clicking this little minus Y at the top there. That'll do front on. Or the hotkeys, because I use my numpad. For those of you blessed with a numpad, you'll like it. You can hit numpad 1, that's front view. Numpad 3, that's side pad, you'll like on. Or front on. Okay, so I can do that by clicking this little minus Y at the top there. That'll do front on.
Minus Y. That'll do front on.
Or the hotkeys, because I use my numpad. For those of you blessed with a numpad, you'll like it. You can hit numpad 1, that's front view. Numpad 3, that's side view. Or numpad 7, that is top view. But I use those a lot. But again, you can use these if you don't have it. Okay, so front view. And then I'm going to scroll in.
Front view. Okay, so then I guess my, and then I want to do shift this to pan, yeah, that's what I want there. Okay.
To zoom, shift middle mouse to pan to the side. And now I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to scale this down again to get it roughly to be the size of my mug here, because I know that this mug is right.
Okay, so then I'm gonna click this and shift, no. I think I want to be in object mode.
Relative to roughly to be the size.
Oh, I didn't grab it. Grab over here. Okay, drop it. Shift. Pan over a little bit. S to scale it so that it's about the same size. Okay, let's grab it again.
Of my mug here, because I know that this mug is right relative to the donut, so it should be good. And then what I'm looking at, for the size of this image here is I want the top of this rim here to roughly match the bottom down there. So this, like, I want that to match that. So it's still a little bit too big. And you'll notice I can't really easily do it from this angle. I mean, I can, but the problem is that this photograph is taken with a camera from the real world where there is perspective. But we are looking in 3D, and actually when we're in an axis like this, the reason it all becomes flattened is because it is in perspective mode. If you click that little button there, that'll actually put you back into perspective mode, and you can see how things get distorted and like angles and things. So the best reference is actually reference, which is in orthographic, like blueprints for something, but you usually don't have that. So you just go from something like this and just kind of best guess it. Anyways, okay. Cool. So that's roughly the right size.
All right. So let's see. We would want to scale. And again, we're just looking for roughly the right size. Sure.
Of image. Now we can model by going into edit mode, by hitting tab, toggle in and out of edit mode. And we can start to shape this to look like this mug here. So the first thing you will notice is like the general broad shape of the mug is that it actually kind of...
All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call it there just because I want to make sure I stop. And I feel like before we get into the modeling is a good place to stop. We're going to Control S. And then when I'm done for the day, I always like to go with a hard file save. Make sure we're good. Also, I should get in the habit of like... I don't know, taking like a screenshot or something. Let me think. I don't even remember how I would take. I don't remember how to take a screenshot. Maybe that's it. No. There. Okay, for space, left click. That should have saved it to my desktop. Nope, definitely not that. Let's go with date modified. Oh no, here it is. Okay. It looks like, oh, it's the screenshot, but it doesn't have the timestamp displayed. Got it. Okay. So we need that, and then, oh, I see. I gotta do it faster. Okay. Okay. Oh, damn it. I had it and then I fucked it up. All right. That should have done it, maybe. No, looks like somehow I fucked that up too. For some reason now it's like not saving it. That's really weird. Now it's like not saving the updated screenshot. Or it is and I'm just like opening it on the wrong thing. All right. I just need to mark my timestamp. It's not really that big of a deal. Just trying to get a screenshot of it. It's like that's a real fast way to save it. All right, we're gonna go with the trusty dusty camera again. And look at the screen. Take a picture. Look at our picture. I just want to view the photo. It's not letting me zoom in for some reason. Why don't we zoom in on the photo, weirdo? All right, let's see. Gallery, photo. can zoom in. 3610. Have our timestamp. All right, great. All right, gang. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully things are still working. Picture. Yeah, it sounds like we're still. Look at our picture. It sounds like we're still live. All right. Yeah, y'all. All right, we're gonna call that part one. We'll be back. I'm gonna be working on this throughout the rest of the week. I got to spend some time in the studio getting some of my audio set up and configured so I can make more content about doing audio mixing stuff. All right, so I'm gonna spend a couple hours in the studio and then I'm going to bed. Appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'll try to stream part two when I get